Hello, everybody. My name is Michael, and welcome back to Sen's Fortress. I mean Dark Souls. What's something I really want to do is to have a version of Dark Souls called Sen Souls. And Sen Souls, what this is, and hear me out on this. What it is they take, listen to me here, the entire game and make it filled with traps and pits and secret walls and rolling boulders and pitting the pendulum blades and all kinds of stuff, but in the entire game, and it's like a mod for the game. You think I'm crazy? Well, I'm not. It sounds awesome. Well, let's head back down here, down the place where we rolled open the boulder to find Big Hat Logan, and head up this way. To the right is a locked door. We can't get through here just yet. And it says does not open from this side. That means we can't get in there with any key, even the master key. Let's head down here, though. And if you take a look at this elevator, I did not understand this at first, but look at the elevator right here as it's coming up. And see if you notice something. Yeah, it's got splashes of blood all over it. I probably saw the blood splashes when I was first playing the game, but I didn't put two and two together that was supposed to be a clue that if you take one of these paths, you could be killed by the elevator. And if you take the elevator up, it will just jam you into a bunch of spikes and kill you. But if you ride the elevator down, as I didn't time it correctly, you're going to be okay. We're going to talk about this chest in just a minute. Let's head over here, and this is where the boulders are going when we put them down here. Let's see here. And if you'll notice here, there's a pit just before a wall. There's nothing at the wall I can tell that looks like it's breakable, but that's what it is. And gradually this pit is going to fill up with these boulders. And eventually, when there's a boulder lying flat across the pit there, the next boulder will crash across into the wall, revealing a secret area where we can get a very important ring, one of the most vitally important rings in the game, the covetous gold serpent ring. And what the covetous gold serpent ring does is it allows us to vastly raise our item discovery rate. The only way to do that before, by the way, is to increase your humanity, which is costly because humanity doesn't grow on trees, and dangerous because you could die and lose your humanity potentially if you couldn't get it back, or maybe if you got it back, it still is just not giving you enough item discovery. I think even at the maximum extra item discovery it gives you at like plus 10, I think 10 humanity gives you, I think, 200 item discovery instead of 100. You're still getting, like virtually, you're still getting very little extra item discovery. But this ring will take us from 100 item discovery all the way up to 300. And that's without using any humanity. We can pop on 10 humanity if we want, and we could get an extra 100 item discovery, getting it all the way up to 400, and that's pretty impressive. Let's take a look at this message. I have an idea of what it says. Be wary of chest. Yes, this really surprised me. Enemy ahead, that's right. Be wary of trap, absolutely. And what do we have here? Now, you remember in the second episode of this series, I talked about Lloyd's talismans. And that's something strange, isn't it? They give you an item that you can use tens of hours later in the game, right here at this section of the game. They give that to you all the way at the very beginning. Now, what a Lloyd's talisman can do is, I will show you in just a minute, fight a mimic, and that is what this thing is. It is actually a mimic. If you're familiar with D&D, you'll know what that is. A mimic, and you'll see the lid is gently moving up and down. You saw that move there for a second, didn't you? A mimic is actually a monster that has a bizarre evolution. See, it's moving? an evolutionary adaptation to look like a treasure chest. I don't know what kind of ecology could possibly exist where adventurers played a part of the ecosystem, but never mind that. It's disguised to look like a treasure chest, but in actuality it's a hideous monster that will eat you if you try to open it. And it's resting right now, but you can see it breathing up and down as I showed you before, and the lid is going up and down. Now over here, you can tell the difference just at a glance which one this is. If you take a look at the chain just next to it, it has a very minor flaw. The chain is extending out towards the front of the chest, when in reality all the other chests, the chains move back a little bit off of it. This is actually a monster, and if you use a Lloyd's Talisman, this is what happens. Yeah, you see it's a monster, and it's put to sleep, and you can go over it and just pick up whatever item it's guarding. However, we are going to try to attack it just so I can show you it here, and if I don't live, I'll just cut back to here. These things are very powerful, very dangerous, and they are not to be trifled with. But if you just spam them with pyromancy, they're not going to do very much at all. Now, mimics are something that we're going to have to be worried about for the rest of the game. They pop up every now and again, and it adds a really exciting aspect to just opening a chest. You never know where you're going to be, if you're encountering a mimic or not. And I really want there to be some way to create the game to randomize the mimics. Every time you turn on the game, you have a random mimic come up, and you never know where they're going to be. I don't know if that's possible or if they could do that, but I really want them to try, somebody to try that somewhere. Now we're going to pop over here and take a look at this. There's a pressure plate, there's a pressure plate, there's a pressure plate. I think there's 3 or 4 of them in this room. We're just going to run and roll by it. Run, jump, roll. Maybe it was just 1, I don't know, but there was like 4 rows of arrows there. Just be careful, you kind of have to jump through that one. Now over here is a kind of a tricky area. There is a bridge right over there that we have to run past a bunch of pit and the pendulum spikes. Immediately to our right, there is a giant serpent man, and immediately to our left, there is a sorceress serpent. We're going to bank left as we go in there, try to kill the sorceress, and then, hopefully if we do it in time, we'll have enough time to kill that and fight the serpent man one-on-one. If we can do that, which I can't guarantee. Just run right across. This is the only one in the game that you can just dart straight across. You don't have to wait at any point in the game. Nope, we weren't able to kill... Oh, no, we were. We weren't able to kill it in 2 hits. Good. Now, there is actually another serpent guy just around the corner here, down the stairs we just came up. So we have to be careful here. And we narrowly avoided getting hit there. I haven't tried to parry any of these guys yet, because they're kind of dangerous. Okay, we got him. Alright. Now let's head down here and fight this other serpent guy, because he is guarding 2 large Titanite shards, which is obviously something of great use to us. I mean, not exactly to me, because I farm so many, but usually when you're playing the game and you don't want to farm for frickin' ever, like I was doing before, you know, it's something you'd want to take care of. If you're having trouble farming, by the way, or you're bored, just throw on a podcast or some music and farm for an hour or so. It goes by very quickly. Now this next area I'm going to get my bow out for, and we're going to have to take care of a sorceress that is hidden to our left, and we can't physically reach her because we have to go across a bridge. So we're going to try to take her out with arrows before we can get over there, and hopefully before she kills us with that lightning she can do. If you hit her in the head, of course, you get that headshot, and she staggers, but... And I got it. Now, this next set of pendulums, I tried so many times to get, because I assumed that they were like the previous set of pendulums, and that we would have to run across all 4 of them, but I didn't realize that that's not true. You're supposed to run across the first 2, wait, then run across the next two. Let's go through the... we stepped in a pressure plate, by the way, as we came out there. So just be aware of that. As soon as you step on it, you're going to be stepping on a pressure plate. Let's go out right over here. And if we do that, we will be essentially home free. You're essentially clear at this point, and you're going to be fine. That was really the hard part of Sen's Fortress. And in fact, we're going to make it even easier by going over here and attempting something. We're going to try to jump across this gap here. If we can do that, let's see. Yes, we can. And remember we shot with arrows that sorceress at the very beginning of the level? I didn't really mention that because I wasn't sure if I was going to be living long enough for it to matter. But let's travel all the way down this tower. Make sure not to fall. I've gotten all the way up here and then fallen off of this tower like a moron. Something died and gave us souls there. I don't know what that was. But anyway, let's continue on through here. And killing this thing this way is not that hard. That's the room up there, by the way, where we can move the boulder machine. And grab this, the cage key. This cage key will unlock Logan's cage if you don't have the master key. For some reason, another cage that we need this for, arguably a more important cage, we can't unlock for some goddamn reason with the master key. It's like they deliberately made it harder and made you come down here just, tediously to come get it. Going up this square tower all around like this reminds me of Boletarian Palace and Demon Souls. But let's talk to this guy. He is the crestfallen merchant.
Ah, what? What? Who are you? Ah, another undead, eh? I took on Sen's Fortress alone, but I'm no different from those vile creatures. I was driven by conceit. Ah, you think you're different? That you can handle it? Yes, I remember that feeling, for I was the same. So, let me help you out, with your soul searching. There's nothing more to say. I'm finished. We're both on the brink, you see. End of story. You bloody fool. Let me give you a nibble of advice. Don't even consider visiting An Orlando. Not in your state. For a century they've tried and failed. The Night King Rendell, Black-Eyed Tarkus, and even Logan himself. You won't stand a chance. You'll be eaten alive. But go along if you wish. If only to deepen your despair. Let me give you
the crestfallen merchant. Just like the crestfallen warrior back in Firelink Shrine, he has sort of become depressed and miserable and refuses to continue on with his fight. It's not that he's failed exactly. He didn't die or anything, because he can't die. It's just he's gotten to a point where he's given up. And that's a really interesting point to make. In other cases, in other games and movies, a character fails if he dies when he's trying to complete his objective. But in this one, you can't die. You fail if you give up on your objective. You have to keep trying again and again and again. And this guy's obviously given up, although he was a badass, because to get to and defeat Sen's Fortress on your own, that's very impressive. He did a great job, but he just lost his heart. He lost his nerve. Then you can buy black firebombs in unlimited quantities from him, and also green blossoms. I don't know if I mentioned this item yet, but the green blossom essentially does the same thing that the Chloranthy ring does. So if you want to use that and free up a ring slot to use instead of Chloranthy, you can do that. Although you can farm the green blossoms from the frog creature things in the Darkroot Garden. Vitally important here is now we can buy large Titanite shards, which is very, very important, and because we can also buy green Titanite shards, that's fantastic, and we can start making those fire weapons, but who cares, because you can farm these like crazy in Blighttown anyway. See, I have 93 already. And those large Titanite shards are expensive at 4,000 souls, so you may not want to buy them at all. You may want to just go down to Leechville in Blighttown and farm them there. He sells the Greatsword, which is a huge, heavy strength weapon, as you might imagine. Very few have what it takes to wield this incredibly heavy damage-dealing monster, a favorite of the Knights Berenique, known for their heavy armor and black iron Tarkus. don't bother buying this, because we can get it as just as an item on the ground in Anor Londo, not that far away from here. The Great Axe we already got in the depths. We already have a boulder shield, and this is your first tower shield that you can buy in the game. And you see, this is a more normal one, unlike the Eagle shield, which we already have, because it takes 30 strength, which is usually the bare minimum strength that you would need to wield some of even the weaker tower shields. But we can also get this as a drop in the next area where we get the greatsword, so don't even bother with it. Standard ammunition stuff, except for this sniper bolt, but we'll talk about that in a second. I don't know if I'm gonna buy a few of these maybe. And the next armor, you can get the Onion Knight armor, so you can look fat and fashionable. F your beauty standards. And in the next one, we can find the Steel set. That's the set that the undead merchant, the crestfallen warrior here is wearing, and it looks really cool. It's obviously very, very heavy, and a little too heavy for our character. I love the steel helm, by the way, because it has the cheek guards that kind of makes it look, and that little plume at the top, it kind of makes it look a little bit Roman. These rings are totally useless, like any of these stone plate rings. Don't buy them, it's not going to be worthwhile. He is depressive. Now let's head back over here and see if we can jump across here, which we can. We almost fell off there. If we head straight down here and go right, we will encounter one of the most important things in the game, which is the cages. Well, one of the most important things in the level, I should say. And if we get in here and go down this cage, which will only unlock with the cage key, not the master key, and head all the way down to the bottom, we are actually at, if you'll believe it, the opening area where we ran in. See? This is the opening section that we ran in through. And this is now a shortcut that will take us right to the top of where we need to go. So that's vitally important. Once you do that, Sen's Fortress is yours to do what you like. You can screw around however you want with it. And I think that next we are going to be... And there is also, there's also a fireplace, a bonfire here, but I'll show you that in a second. There's so much to do here, I don't know exactly where to go next, although I have an idea of where I want to go. Don't dawdle anywhere around here, by the way, because there is a giant throwing flaming bombs down at you, so just be aware of that. Let's head back over here and see what we can find. Be careful. I should also warn people that if you quit the game and reload within Sen's Fortress, all of the pressure plates that you pressed will be back up and you can re-trigger them. So you may think, oh, well, I already stepped on that one, who cares? Well, you have to pay attention to that because you can still die that way. I don't think I'm going down that one. Where's the one I want to go down? I think I'm going to have to go back down over here. It doesn't matter much if I die now because, you know, it's not that much of an issue. Okay. I could just jump down there, but I'm not going to. Why risk it if I don't have to? Because there is a ring that I want to get, which is, I believe, down here? See if I can put the old skull lantern to use. I don't usually get this ring, can you tell? So I'm trying to think if this is where we need to go. I'm not too sure about that. I think it is, though. Or is it down there? I feel like Sigmire of Katarina now. Ooh. What a pickle. Ah, fuck it. Yes, this is the right way. Excellent. And this area contains a bunch of, I think they are Or they aren't here. Let me see here. Okay. Yep, here it is. The good old-fashioned Ring of Fog. And the Ring of Fog... Where was that, the Ring of Fog? What was that? Hang on. Let me take a look here. What did we just pick up? Oh, no, this is not the Ring of Fog. This is the Make No Sound Ring. Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring. Now, I don't think there is anything left here for us to bother with. So I guess I'm just going to go back down here. No. There we go. Shocked I lived through that. I thought that was the Ring of Fog all this time, but this is another ring that is similar to that. The Ring of the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring allows you to walk completely silently, which is also very useful if you are a sneaky bastard who's trying to do sneaky things. I don't know quite why that re-triggered. I don't think I quit and reload the game. Oh well. What about this one? Huh, that's a little strange. Let's see if I can do what I need to do here. I may not be able to. No! Darn it, I lingered. Alright, let's see about this here. I don't usually bother going to get this item here, so I'm a little confused about where I need to go. There it is. Four, five, okay. And these are, whoops-a-daisy. No, that is not. I thought I was in a... I was not in the right place. There we go. This is the Black Sorcerer set, and the Black Sorcerer set is what Griggs of Vinheim, the first sorcery trainer we found, was wearing. And the Black Sorcery set has a very odd description. Let's see if I can find it. Where is the... I wish this was in alphabetical order. There it is. Cloak worn by the secret sorcerers at Vinheim Dragon School. They secretly work with sound-based spells and never reveal themselves. Well, what exactly are these guys? Sorcery developed by a certain surreptitious sorcerer at the Vinheim Dragon School masks all noises of caster. Effectively, Vinheim is controlled by the Dragon School, and it is no wonder that the town has its share of dark secrets. So this weird spell here is apparently used by like some kind of secretive order of sorcerers that are spies or something like that. Actually, now that I think about it, this may be the way down to the ring, the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring. So I didn't need to go around that other way at all. I could have just come down this way. It took me quite a while to figure out where this place was and how to open this door. It was long after I'd already gotten through this section before I actually figured that out. And I think I had to look that up online. This is that door we couldn't unlock on the way to Logan, by the way. And I hope... Did I set the thing... Oh, shit. Did I set the boulders to come down this way? I hope not. And I did. Of course I did. Why would I not do that? That sounds like a great idea, Mike. Just keep doing that. Everyone wants you to do that. Alright. Let us head back over this way. These pressure plates are back up. I swear I didn't quit and reload the game in between this. I swear I didn't. This one is difficult that you just have to make a dash, a reckless dash across it. You don't have to go up around it. Now, I'm going to continue on with the upper area of this section of Sen's Fortress. However, there is a little bit more in the lower... Fuck me. Fucking hell. Okay, I'm going to cut and reload this. That, oddly enough, right here is some of those things I was mentioning. That's where the scythe is. But I'm going to cut and reload.